Good morning, everybody. This is Deanna with Food Bank Beautiful. It is a glorious, gloomy, wet, rainy Wednesday in Washington. So if you have better weather than that, you are already one win ahead. You can hear Patty in the background. Right now, my house is quiet. The chickens are all in Grandma's room. They've been fed. They're just waiting for my husband to bring me home some gerbil bedding so I can clean their cages. While they're in the house, I need gerbil bedding because it absorbs odor. When they get to spend 6, 7, 8 hours a day on my back porch in the sunshine, I can use straw, but I need to get that done. Still, the room does not smell bad. I mean, it smells a little bit, but it doesn't smell like, it doesn't gag you. It's not overpowering. It's like an undernote. All right. Grandma's doing really good. She had breakfast this morning. I'll show you a picture of it. That was an entire food bank breakfast. She had egg and cheese omelet. She had some of her little orange slices, and then she had half of a blueberry muffin with butter. And let me tell you, girl ate it all. So that's good. Okay, I have a big day today. I have a box of Fiestaware dishes right here that I want to make room in some very crowded cupboards over here, and I'm going to work on that today. I'm going to put everything through the dishwasher first because they've been in storage for a while, and I just want, clean dishes. Call me freaky, but clean dishes to start with is always better. Now, those of you who follow me, you know that my husband is going to Canada. He's leaving on Friday to go and attend his niece's wedding. Grandma and I will not be going. Neither one of us have a passport. And more importantly, that is a trip that I could not take Grandma on. Even if she had a passport, she just would not be able to do that. But I am going to bake some goodies because it'll be a family gathering, and I just like to bake anytime I get together with the family on that side, on Addie's side. So I have two things I'm going to make first. The first thing I'm going to do is a brownie mix. We got a Rogue brownie mix from the food bank with no directions, no nothing. I only have one brownie mix left in a jar. That makes me very sad because those brownie mixes saved my butt since the day we made them. So I'm just going to pretend that this is 2 of these, and I'm going to put in 1 cup of melted butter, 4 eggs, enough vanilla to make it yummy. And then I'm going to make it in 2 pans. So one pan is going to be straight with the chocolate chips in it. The second pan is going to have chocolate chips in it, but it's also going to have some of these peppermint chips that I found in my baking box. And I'm just going to use a handful of those. So we'll have 2 different types of brownies. We'll have peppermint brownies and we'll have chocolate chip brownies. So we're going to get that done because it takes me 10 minutes to mix it up, get my pans ready, stick them in the oven. And then while that's baking, we're going to go ahead and try those apple butter oatmeal bars, which I have never made before. So sink or swim, babes, you guys are with me. We don't know how it's going to turn out. We could be sending along my package of the vanilla Oreo cookies from yesterday, but we don't know. Also, I'm not too worried about what I can get done and not get done today because I found about 4 loaves of really nice bread that I made. It's either the blueberry bread, lemon blueberry bread, or it's the cherry bread. So either way, that bread is good. 2 loaves are unsliced. 1 loaf is sliced and already in a container, so I know I can send that along. Addie's got some brothers and some brother-in-laws and some sisters. The sisters and the nieces, they're all dainty. But the men, they are big like mountains, okay? They are big, muscly men who like to eat. And so I've got to make sure that I have enough because they will wipe me out. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to bring you along. We're going to do the brownies as if they were mine, and then we're going to mix up those apple bars, and I will show you all of the ingredients for that when I pull them out. So butter is food bank. I have 1 cube here, but I actually have a whole pound plus 2 cubes, so all the butter will be food bank. The eggs that I'm going to use are Food Bank. Those are the white ones. And then the vanilla is mine. And Addie unpacked a box for me from New Mexico yesterday and found this little thing of vanilla. So I'm going to use this vanilla up before I go back to my homemade vanilla. So that should be all right. And we'll list out the apple oatmeal bar ingredients when I get there. Okay, let's get started. We got things to do, people. I have gathered everything up. I have prepped my pans, and it's so nice to have about 8 of these instead of 1. It makes, lining those pans so easy. I have melted the butter. I have cracked the eggs. I have opened the brownie mix. I've got my crunchies here, and I've got my vanilla. So let's go ahead and get to it. It's so easy. I'm going to bring the camera down. We're going to be able to put this together and in the oven in about 5 minutes. So let me make sure I can get you. Looks like you're right there. So here we go. 1 package of brownie mix. Perfect. Here's our 1 cup of butter. Nice. Our 4 eggs. There we go. We're looking good, people. We're going to add some vanilla. Oh, those are my crows out there. They want more breakfast than they got this morning, but I just don't have the time. So here's some vanilla. I'm going to put in about a tablespoon because that's what I like. And we're going to turn the mixer on. Here we go. Okay, let's grab my chocolate chips. Right here. These I think are mine. I have gotten chocolate chips at the food bank before, but I think this is chocolate chips from the holidays. And I'm just going to add a handful. I don't think it matters exactly how much we throw in there. I know that I'm going to want to have chocolate chips on hand for other things, maybe. All right, let's see. Where is my spatula? Left it over here, but I can get it easily. Here we go. And that is it, people. Here's my pan. Can you see that? And I'm just going to put approximately half of that brownie mix in here, which I think is about right there. I'm going to move these clips now because I don't want those ends to get icky. And there we go. Seriously, it's as easy as that. And it's as easy as that, especially when you have your own brownie mix mixed up. Sometime in the next week, I'm going to make 5 or 6 more of these. I love these. I can't say enough good things about them. Every time I make them, they're fabulous. Okay, since I've got you here, let's go ahead and do this. Just so easy with the little clips. Okay, let's do the second one. Okay, that's in there. Take these clips off. And this pan is done. Now I'm going to bake these a little bit less time because it looks like it's a little bit less brownie mix than when I make my own. I didn't do this to my pan, but I'll go over there and trim that off because I don't like dealing with this extra edge. Okay, now that's done. Almost. Can you guys still see? Maybe right there. All right, I'm going to take a handful of these. Do I have an open one? This one is not open, so let's leave it closed. Let's see if this one's open. Yeah, this one's open. Let's use this one. And we're just going to sprinkle a little over the top. It doesn't take much. And that's it. 2 different types of brownies for about what? 4 or 5, let me look at the clock. 6 minutes and 40 seconds worth of work. So for 3 minutes and 20 seconds or so per pan, we are good to go. I have not found my baking dishes yet. As soon as I find my cookie sheets, I'm gonna probably get rid of this baking sheet. Okay, that was a lot of noise. Sorry. Okay, first thing is going in the oven. We're going to make the second thing. I'm going to try to make almost everything in a bar cookie so that I'm not up and down every 20 minutes pulling out a dozen cookies. I just don't think I have it in me to do that, but we don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's get those in. Okay, brownies are in the oven. That's where I left you guys. And they have about 15 or 20 minutes before I need to check them. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make some apple butter oatmeal bars. Now, it took me a while to go through and find a recipe that I felt suited me with the ingredients that I have, but there are all kinds of options out there. So depending on what you have in your pantry, you can just make whichever one suits you best. I got mine from plattertalk.com. I think that's the name of it. If that's not the name of it, either way, the name will be in the notes, okay? It's always important to let you know where I got the recipe from. This one, I'm going to modify a tiny bit, but it's not going to be anything scary. One recipe makes a 9x9 pan, and we're going to do 2 8x8. So they'll be a little bit thicker. They should be scrumptious. We'll send one pan with Addie, and then, baby, you and I are going to eat the other pan. I'm not kidding. All right. Yeah, you guys are going to eat them virtually, and I'm going to eat them in real life. And I'm going to share with Grandma. She already asked me if all the cookies I was going to bake today were going to go with Addie. And I assured her that most of the cookies, we would have a sample at this end. So let's talk about the ingredients. And I'm going to let you know if they're mine or if they're food bank, because that's the way this girl rolls. First thing it calls for, and I'll give you the single recipe ingredients, but I am going to double. Okay, calls for 2 cups of, it says old-fashioned oats, but what I have is quick oats. We're going to use it. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Calls for a cup of flour. I have that right here. It's going to call for 3/4 cup of sugar, and I have that. The flour's mine. I have about 2 cups of food bank sugar in here, so for this recipe, we're going to say that it's food bank sugar. It's going to call for a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and that is mine. It's going to call for salt and cinnamon. Both of those are mine. It's going to call for 3/4 cup of butter. I feel like that's a lot, but we're going to do it. So that's going to finish up my food bank butter for the day. Now I'm still going to bake. It just means the rest of the butter is stuff that comes out of my pantry, so to speak. And then it's going to call for 1 cup of apple butter. And I have what I think is 1 cup of apple butter. And if not, I've got some in the refrigerator and I have some here. So that's what we're going to use. And then I found about a cup of some strudel that I made for some muffins and some other things in the past. I'm going to sprinkle this on the top of my oatmeal bars. So we're going to take this glorious recipe that we found from Platter. It's either Platter Time or Platter Talk. I could check it for you, but I'd lose my recipe and I don't have the time to dink around and play those reindeer games. So whatever the correct and real name is, I will be putting it in the notes. So Platter Time, Platter Talk, whichever one, my apologies. But we're using your recipe today, using our food bank items. So let's get to it. It looks like the butter has to be softened. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the microwave and soften that up. And then it looks like I just mix it with the oats and the flour and the 2 sugars. Maybe I should read the directions. What do you think, guys? Large bowl, combine oats, flour, sugar, salt, cinnamon, add the butter, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. Platter Time, Platter Talk. They're doing it exactly the way that Missy would do it. So I didn't even have to read the directions. I'd have thrown it together and I'd have been spot on. Okay. I have 1 little lonely Coca-Cola in my refrigerator and I think I'm going to go get it. I know it's wrong. It's 11:43. I've been up, I think I was up at 4:30 till about 6:30. Then I went back to bed from 6:30 to 9. So I'm a little tired, but I'm going to drink a Coke and we are going to make these bars. So let me go get that. The Coke is mine. I did not get Coke at the food bank, you guys. Grandma and I usually share cans, but she's asleep right now. So, and Addie and I usually share cans. When we drink pop, usually I buy it on sale and then we almost always share. So if I want a can of pop, usually Addie shares it with me or Grandma shares it with me, and vice versa. If they want pop, we share it. We don't drink it that often, but today I need it. It's hot in my kitchen. I got a lot of things to do. Plus, I really feel like I'm hearing you guys say, Deanna, honey, sweetheart, go get yourself that pop. Well, thank you, my loves. I will. Let me be right back. Here it is, you guys. And I'll just assume I'm sharing it with you, okay? So here's some Coca-Cola to us way before lunchtime. And I know better, but we're doing it anyway. Here is my 1.5 cups of butter. I'm going to put it in the microwave to soften, not melt, Deanna. Soften. Do you remember the time I made the brownies and I don't remember what it was. It was something else. It wasn't the brownies. Oh, it was the cake. And I melted the butter and I got a rubbery textured cake and I kind of fussed about it for a while. Yeah. Softened, not melted. Let's put it in the microwave. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our dry ingredients in this great big bowl in front of me. And I'm going to go ahead and get the camera down here, and we're just going to get to it, okay? So, let me go back up here and look at how much. So I need 4 cups of oats. Wow, it's a good thing I picked up oatmeal the time before last. Or maybe the time before that, I don't remember. Because it seems like Grandma got 2 boxes of cereal between that and now. Okay, 2 cups. 4 cups, actually. Let's get you down here. Okay, 4 cups. We'll count them out. 1, 2, 3, and whoa, 4. Okay. Let's see, 2 cups of flour. That's easy, right? 2 cups of flour. Now I'm measuring out for a double batch, guys. There's 1. And there is 2. Okay? And I bought flour and sugar for the month, so I have more flour and sugar in my cabinets. Then it's going to want, I'm going to change this a little bit. It's calling for 3/4 of a cup of sugar, white sugar, and I'm going to reverse that. And it's calling for a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I want the brown sugar. So we're going to use a 1/2 cup of white sugar. So this is me just putting in my personal preferences. If the bars get ruined, it's on me, not on them. I'm messing with their recipe. Here's a 1/2 cup of sugar. And now we're going to do 1.5 cups of brown sugar. Brown sugar's mine. That amount of sugar was food bank. What did I say? 1.5 cups for a double? Okay. There's 1, give or take. And there's about a 1/2. Okay. Now, it's going to call for a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Let's get that in there. I'd call that a 1/2 teaspoon. And how much cinnamon is it calling for? A teaspoon. So I need 2 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons. And I'm going to call that 2 teaspoons. Okay. Let me check my butter and see if it's softened and not melted. There's no vanilla in this. Okay, that is not softened. Let's try it again. I'll do it for 20 seconds. Okay. We're going to add some vanilla. First thing I'm going to do is kind of stir my dry ingredients all together. This looks like a lot of, I might make 3 pans. We'll see what I think. Maybe next week or the week after when I'm baking, I'll have all of my baking dishes and my cookie sheets, and maybe we can find my mixer whose name is Scarlet. Okay, I don't know if this is going to make a mess or not, but I'm going to run my mixer through here and get these lumps out. And I don't have to do that online. You don't have to listen. All right, I am going to modify this one more way. I have a bunch of food bank walnuts, as do all of you. I know you do. 5, 6, 7 bags tucked away in the back of your pantry going, what am I going to do with these? Okay, so I'm going to take what's in this open bag and I'm going to run it through my Vitamix blender and I'm going to chop them up, and then I'm going to use 1 cup in my dry mix, and then I'll put the rest in the freezer. They'll stay nice and fresh, already chopped up. That's the plan. Let's see how it works. Now, I'm not going to do this for you online because it's loud, and there's no reason for you to listen to that, but I'll show you the finished product. Okay, there we go. Some beautifully chopped walnuts. They're pretty universally chopped. There's probably, maybe I see 10 pieces that are still big, but I didn't want these walnuts to turn into like a walnut butter, and that can happen quickly in the mixer. So let me bring back my dry good bowl, which is right here, and let me bring you down because we're gonna do some messing about with these bars. Okay. All right, I'm gonna add a cup, I said, right? Okay, we're gonna add a cup. There we go. That should be delicious. Let me check the butter. All right, half melted, half softened. We're gonna go with it. We're just gonna pretend that that is exactly what we wanted. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up. I'll come back after I've mixed it so you don't have to listen to the mixer. Okay, so that is all mixed up, but to me, let me check it again. I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit too dry for what it wants us to do. Is that gonna... Okay. So, I do not want to invest any more butter in there, but I am willing to invest a little bit of peanut butter. Why not? So I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of peanut butter into that. And let's see what that does. Oh, I could have used my almond butter had I thought about it before I pulled this out. That's okay. Let's see what this does. I'll come back. Okay. I like the texture a little bit better. I think it'll make a nice crust on the bottom without being too crumbly. I tasted it. There's a slight peanut butter taste, but it's not bad. But I am going to add another 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Let me mix that up. You caught me tasting that. The extra cinnamon that I added is perfect. It's very good. Okay. So this is what we have. And I think it's a lot, actually. For a top and a bottom of 2 8-inch pans, I feel like that's a lot. So I am going to pull out roughly 1/4 and see what it does to the pan. And you can watch me. This is just you and I doing it together. I don't know how it's going to work, but let's find out. You can see I divided roughly 1/4. Can you see that? 1/4 of my filling, my crust. All right, let's see. Well, maybe it won't be, maybe it's all right. Okay, it might be okay. Take those off. Can you guys see? Okay. Okay, that made a very nice crust. So I think we'll be good. I think 2 8-size pans is perfect. And I'm actually going to pull out my apple butter that's in the refrigerator. Let's go ahead and use that up first. Now it calls for a cup, so I need 1 of these per pan. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Smells so good. It's going to make a nice filling. Have any of you guys made apple butter using applesauce, canned applesauce? Because I would like to try it again. I'm not sure if my apple butter is a little too thin. But I thought I would try it again with some of the canned applesauce that I get at Food Bank. Save a lot of time for cooking it down. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to take another 1/4 of this crumb mixture. And we're going to put it on the top. I don't know if I have to pat it down on the top or not. Let's see what it says. Any big chunks of walnut, I'm just going to break up a tiny bit. Okay, that looks good. Let me check my brownies, people. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out. Okay, the brownies look great. They're more of a cake-like brownie than they are the brownies that we made with my brownie mix. I think that I prefer my brownie mix that we got, I think it was from Sugar Spun Run. Those are the best little brownie mixes ever, but these are going to be okay. I'm going to let them cool on top of the stove, and we're going to finish this. Let me check and see what it says to do with the top crust. If I pat that down, or if I just sprinkle remaining crumbs over the apple butter and press down gently. Let's do it. Let's follow the directions. Okay, now you might hear my husband just came home, so you might see or hear him. He doesn't like to be on camera, so you might not see him. But there we go. All right, we've got that patted down. And now, even though we probably don't need it, we're still going to add some of that yummy, yummy streusel on the top. Why not? Why not? Okay, I will cut the paper off of this and we will get this in the oven. Let me do the other pan. One of the things I did, the apple bars just went in the oven, so we're going to check on them in 40 minutes. The brownies are right over here and they're cooling. This morning I went in and I checked on my dahlia tubers, and the ones that are actually in pots, I think I have 3 of them that are in pots. They have dahlias this high. I planted 2 more dahlia tubers because the eyes had gotten big enough to go ahead and plant them in their temporary containers. But my cherry jewel nasturtiums, they got so big that they no longer fit underneath the little lights that I have. So I did plant them, 5 of them in a container about that big, just to let them, continue to grow until I can put them in the garden. But I do need some containers for some of the other things, and I like to make my own temporary ones using cut up grocery bags. I don't know if I showed you guys that or not, but there's plenty of garden season. You'll see it at some point. But I have this empty oatmeal container. So I'm thinking, why can't I cut it down to this blue line, stab a few holes in the bottom, and use that for a temporary container? Okay, so the first thing you can see is that I cut down 2 lengths, and then where did it go? Then I folded it over and cut it here so I can take my scissors and go around. I do want to bring it down to this blue mark though. So let's go ahead. I'll bring it down. This is exciting TV, you guys. This is, Nielsen ratings is what this is about. So we're going to bring that down a little bit further. Just like that. And then I should be able to take my scissors and go all the way around the container. And later today, I can go back in there and put a small tuber in here or transplant some of my seeds. Now my flowers have all germinated at some of them say 85, 90% germination, but mine germinated like 100%, almost all of them. So that's good. Okay, so we have a little container that I can use long enough to keep some seeds in. Now we're going to stab it, okay? It's the only stabbing we're allowed to do. Just going to put 3 little holes in it, and then I'll set it aside and take it to where I've got my seeds going. Okay, I've got a 40-minute window. In that window, I want to reset my kitchen so that it's nice and clean and I can sit and decide what to do next. I think I'm going to make some peanut butter chocolate chip bars. It's nothing more than a standard peanut butter cookie recipe. Throw in a cup and a half of chocolate chips and call it good. I think that's what we're going to do. I have some white chocolate chips as well. I might do milk and white in those. We'll see. I don't know. I'll get back to you. Okay, I've been out of the kitchen for a while. What time is it? Oh, 3 o'clock. Quite a while, actually. You know that we live in a little tiny studio arrangement down here at the bottom of our house so that I can keep Grandma in a room back here and hear her, take care of her, do whatever she needs. So Addie and I sleep over here, and then our living room is right here. Addie took a nap. So when he takes a nap, I don't like to be banging around in the kitchen. I like him to be able to take his nap in peace and quiet. So he has done that. Now I'm about to return to the kitchen. I think that I'm going to make some peanut butter chocolate chip bars. And it's just a basic peanut butter cookie recipe. Throw in a couple handfuls of chocolate chips, bake them in those little square pans. Cut them into little squares, and ta-da, we're done. I know that I don't have the whatever it takes to pull cookies in and out of the oven every 15 minutes. But my apple bars are done and nice and cooled. Can you see them down here? So I'm going to grab a knife and we're going to go ahead and taste them. I had a knife in my hand. Here it is. They smell so good. Right away I can smell the toasty oats, I can smell the cinnamon, and I can smell the apple butter. Now we're going to cut that. And I have not tasted this ahead of you guys, so we're going to taste it together. Let me get a square here. Ooh. see if that'll focus a little bit better. All right. So we're going to take a bite. Are you ready? I hope they're good. Mm. Okay, those are very good. They're very chewy. They have a very nice toasted oatmeal and cinnamon flavor. The apple butter is delicious in there. Let me take another bite over here. Mm. Okay. If I were to make these again, I would add about anywhere between an additional half cup or an additional full cup of apple butter filling. I feel like it needs a little bit more filling. They're still really good. There's nothing wrong with them. I like them. I don't think anybody would taste them and say, oh, you know, these aren't right, or they don't need this, or whatever. I think that I would like them, though, with a little bit more filling. Mm. Mm. Or it might be that I just got the corner piece and there's not as much filling in there. Apparently, I'm going to eat the whole cookie for you guys, because that's the kind of girl I am, willing to take one for the team. Yeah. So when I get on the scale next week, when it's a little bit heavy, it'll be because I ate cookies for you guys. Oh, good. Okay. Having tasted it, I know that I'm going to want to cut these bars into smaller squares because they're filling. They're real thick, nice bars. They're not heavy like concrete. They're just filling. It's a lot of oatmeal. And I don't want to cut them so big that they're too big to eat. Here's a bite with a lot of filling. That's good. Okay, I'm very happy with this. Let me go ahead and kind of get my counter clean. I got all my dishes done. Everything's cooling that we've made so far. Let's go ahead and get those peanut butter chocolate chip cookies baked. So I'm going to turn my oven on. I'm going to clean off this space, and then I'll bring you back and we'll make the cookies. Okay, I don't know where the camera cut off, but the recipe that I'm using for the peanut butter bars is from www.foulmouthgourmet.com. I will type that into the notes. Looks like we're probably going to follow her recipe as written. The only thing that I don't have is coconut oil, and I can use a little bit of vegetable oil. That's no problem. What I love about this recipe is in the title, it reads the Foul-Mouthed Gourmet. And then the fine print underneath that says, food that gives no, the F word. Okay? You know, that spoke to me. This is what we're making. Labor intensive or not, this is what we're doing. So let's pull up the ingredients. And I'll tell you what I have, what's mine, and what's going to be food bank. And I'm just going to read it. I don't have it all spread out in front of me right now. 1 stick of butter softened. I believe that will be mine. I believe I have used all of my food bank butter. 1/2 cup of creamy peanut butter, food bank. Dark brown sugar, mine. White sugar, food bank. 2 eggs, food bank. Vanilla extract, mine. 2 1/4 cups of flour, mine. Baking soda and salt, mine. 1 1/2 cups of dark chocolate chips, mine. Flaky salt, I don't have that, but I wish I did. We'll be okay. Chocolate shell, 1 1/2 cups of dark chocolate chips and a tablespoon of coconut oil. The chips will be mine. We'll not be using coconut oil. We'll be using vegetable oil, and that is food bank. So let me get my apple bars put away off this counter. Then I'll pull out everything I need, and we're going to make those peanut butter bars and get those in the oven. I have to be somewhere in about 2 hours, so I don't have a lot of time. Okay, here we go. Okay, I did most of this for you as far as putting everything in the bowl. In this bowl, I have 1 stick of softened butter, 1/2 cup of creamy peanut butter, 3/4 dark brown sugar, 1/4 cup white sugar, 2 large eggs, some vanilla, and I went ahead and added the soda and the salt. So the only thing that's going to go in here after we mix it is the flour and the chocolate chips. So let's go ahead and get that done. And I've got a spatula right here. Okay, we're looking good, people. Here we go. Okay, you can see that's nice and creamy. I am now going to add 2 1/4 cups of flour. The measuring cup I have is 1/2 cup, so I'm going to do 4 1/2 of these. Count them with me. Don't let me lose track. 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and mix that in. Okay, that seems about right to me. Here's my chocolate chips. Thought I put them away. It's possible that I did not. Here they are. Okay. Calls for 1 1/2 cups. Let's see if that wants all of that. Well, I'm using a handful. These are going to be rich. They don't need to have 1 1/2 cups. Okie doke. Let's get that mixed up. Okay, looks good so far. Let me get my 2 pans ready and we'll get these in the oven. Okay, my pan is prepared. I'm going to take half this batter and put it in here. Batter's the wrong word. Probably dough is a better word. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I'll get the other one prepped and cut the paper off, and I'll let you see them before I put them in the oven. Okay, it is Thursday, and I am going to finish up those peanut butter chocolate chip bars. So when I last left you, I had baked these. I cut them into squares, and then I put them in the refrigerator to chill overnight. Today, I'm going to dip them in 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil and 1.5 cups of chocolate chips. And then I'm going to put them on these racks to cool. And then I might drizzle a little bit of white chocolate over the top. So here's the cookie, and I'm just going to dip an edge. That's all I want, just like that. And then I'm just going to stick it on my rack to do its thing. So let's go ahead and get this done. Can you guys see okay? Okay, you get the idea. I'll come back and show you when these are finished.